Welcome back, YouTube. You guys remember the first video that we'd made? It was reviving this 1961 or 62 Mammoth SR1 engine. These are a single acting oscillating cylinder, and single action means that the steam only forces the piston down, and when the cylinder oscillates back up, it opens the exhaust port for the momentum of the engine to carry it around. As you see, it closed, rotated, closed the exhaust, and opened the inlet for the steam to force it back down. That's how a single acting oscillating cylinder works. Put this guy back here out of the way. Today we're going to be working on this little guy. These were made in the early 1970s. This one was marketed as a Bassett Lowke model, not the old name, but they called them Birmingham dribblers or piddlers, because as they would run, the exhaust, as you can see, there's no exhaust ducting or piping coming off of it. It would just run out and piddle or dribble all over the floor. This is, get it closer, these are almost knurled. They weren't intended to run on tracks. The front wheels, you can turn them and they stay put, so you could put it in a circle and just drive it around on the floor without having tracks for it. There's no provisions on the rear for a hitch. On the front it has these little buffer beams, but they're not spring loaded, they're just screwed on. This one here is, it doesn't turn, it's stuck, but we'll make it run, I promise. This is a single acting cylinder, much like the Mammoth tractor back here, but it has one on either side. So, alright, well, let's tear this guy apart. We'll just take the cylinders off and see if we can get them to move for us, and kind of give it a good once over. And hopefully this is just a one-part video. We won't drag it out any longer than we have to, unless you guys want to see us get into it and take it all the way down and polish up all the brass so it's nice and shiny. This has a burner in the bottom that runs on denatured alcohol or methylated spirits, and it just clips in to the bottom of the frame rails here. And you can imagine how happy Mom was to realize that on her living room carpet, Christmas morning, this was filled with alcohol, lit on fire, and drove around, not only scorching the carpet, but dribbling or piddling all over Mom's carpet. So, alright, well, let's get this thing. We'll start by taking the cylinders off back here. And if you remember the first video on this Mammoth tractor, how we took it off here, the spring-loaded bolt that holds the cylinder up against the valve plate. These operate very much the same way, but they are very stiff, and that one did move finally. So, alright, well, we'll get this guy apart and bring you back after we get this cylinder off and get the other cylinder off, and we'll see where we're at. Okay, well, we got our cylinders off of both sides here, and well, the wheels turn, so that's a great thing. We'll set this guy off to the side. We'll inspect one of our cylinders. They're little brass cylinders that appear to be silver soldered valve plate. Very stiff to move. So we'll soak these for a half an hour or so, and check this one here. This one moves also, but it is also very stiff. So like I said, we'll get these two here soaking, and I'll bring you back after a half hour or so, and we'll see if they've loosened up any. So we've got our little tub here, and we've filled it with denatured alcohol, which is a good degreasing chemical. And our little cylinder here, after I got to looking at it, I figured that this cap would be threaded on, and it's more of a press fit, but it does come off. That'll allow us to get our piston out of the cylinder and get it close enough. You guys can see this, but it's almost like cosmoline or grease. Just gummed up the whole works. You guys can see down inside the cylinder or not, but we'll dunk these guys in here and pull this one apart and do the same thing with him. And much like the other one, it's just coated in like a cosmoline type grease. But surprisingly, there are piston rings on this. So, alright. Well, we'll let that soak for a while, and I'll bring you guys back after a little bit. There's no sense in sitting here watching parts in a metal tub. Okay, so we've got our parts all degreased, and as you can see, they slide in and out a whole lot better now. Take it apart one more time. We'll apply a little bit of oil to them. Okay, so we've already filled our boiler. This terrifying little alcohol burner here, we were able to get 12 milliliters of denatured alcohol in it. Pick our boiler and engine up here. I'm sorry, I'm not even watching what I'm doing here. And it just kind of spring clips underneath of it. Alright, well, if nothing else, we'll get to hopefully see an engine run on 212 degrees. I'll get another one of our mugs out to hold it off the... There. You guys able to see that? No. There, that's better. So there, now we have our engine suspended. Everything appears to be turning freely. Let's light this little thing on fire. There. Okay, well, let's raise some steam and we'll see what we've got. Okay, so it's been a few minutes, and I don't know if you guys can see how well this little burner works. But I think we're going to abort mission on this, because that's way too much fire to be having out here. We'll see what happens. It looks like it might be dying down a little bit. Obviously, it doesn't take very long for this thing to make steam. We got a heck of a fire underneath of it. Now, can you imagine how happy Mom would be if Dad bought one of these for Junior back in the 1970s, and he filled it up and was waiting for it as the carpet underneath of it was melting down? Seems like a great toy. It's a lot of fun for us to play with now, though. Let's we'll open this steam whistle a little bit. No, we still have no steam pressure. I can't imagine this was a very successful little model. It's awfully neat to look at. It seems like it's really well made, but in practicality, I'm not sure how practical it would tend to be. So about these mugs, I've ordered several of them. If any of you would like one, just we'll give away, we'll give away 5 of them. Leave an exciting comment. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this video. Let's try to grow this channel a little bit. I will randomly select, or I'll have my wife or one of us will select 5 of you, and I'll reply to your video. And I'm not sure how you guys can private message me, but if you send me your address, I'll get one of these 212 degree mugs in the mail to you. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that or not, but our whistle's starting to make some noise, so we've got a head of steam already. Alright, let's close our whistle. It appears that we've got steam up here at our valve. I'd really like for this fire to die down some more. I think I'm going to blow this fire out so I don't burn myself too badly. We have wet steam and it is tempting. So much for blowing the fire out. Like we do have a lot of wet steam coming out of it, and it is trying. Once again, this doesn't seem to be a very safe and or practical little model, but at least, I don't know about you, but I'm enjoying playing with it. Well, our fire has died down considerably. Hopefully we have enough in here to make it turn. Well, since that's not going to run, let's go ahead and we'll drop our fire and reload our firebox, and we'll try it again. Good Lord, everything on this little monster is hot. Okay, well, let's try to light her up again. Okay, so we've relit our alcohol burner under here. This time I put 6 milliliters of denatured alcohol in it. We'll see if that allows us to build enough steam to at least try to see it run. It was attempting before, but I think our fire went out before it was ready to go. This might be the only time I run this engine. It's not, doesn't seem to be terribly safe, and every time you touch it, everywhere, even the buffer beams up in the front are very hot. We can see steam starting to come out of our safety valve. We'll open up. I don't know, it's trying, but the struggle is definitely there. It's not that it turns hard, I just fear this wasn't an operable model. We surely have enough steam. I think what we're lacking is the desire from the model to participate. We're not gaining anywhere. Well, I'm not going to give up on this. We'll make it run. Okay, attempt number 3. We filled our firebox up again with another 6 milliliters of denatured alcohol. It's possible that I put way too much water in it, and the steam is just way too wet. Been cooking for a little while. Let's open our steam valve back here. Now, once again, it's a whole lot of nothing, guys. I'd really like to see this run. It's kind of disappointing. I was hoping to share this with you guys and myself too for the first time. Okay, well, as much as I didn't want this to turn into a 2-part video, unfortunately, I think it's going to. Starting today until, let's give it a week, we'll randomly select 5 of you who have left a comment for us, and I'll send you guys one of the mugs that I use. They've got a nice saying on them. They're you guys can read that, but to power a train. Not today, but at least we give it a shot, and sometimes that's all it takes. So it's been just a couple minutes for you guys, but it's been a few challenging and troubling days working on this little thing. We made this little stand for it, so hopefully we get it to run this time. But yeah, it'll be balanced. The boiler's got water in it again. What I've done is I've taken this valve, opened it up to find that it had a very, very, very small opening. I've drilled that back out, put it back together, went through, and the other gaskets that we didn't replace, I found that they were just in as bad a shape as the other ones. So we've changed them. We filled the terrifying little burner down here back up with alcohol, and we'll light him up. Hopefully it takes off pretty quickly. This thing has been nothing but oh, I can't think of a good word to use for it, but it's been challenging and troublesome. I usually don't give up, but this in here has really tried my patience. Oh, come on. See what I mean? Sorry to get in your way. Okay, well, we've got our fire lit, and hopefully we're gonna start making some steam. And we'll just give it a little bit. We'll see if we can get enough of a head of steam up to make something happen here. And at least you guys can see it run for, even if only a little bit, just to prove that it does actually operate. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it or not, but I can hear the water in there boiling. That's one thing about that burner, it sure makes plenty of heat. Oh, you've wrapped the whole boiler in fire, so not sure if we've got enough steam for it to do anything. It didn't take long this time. Our valve's open. And once again, a whole bunch of nothing. Let it go a little bit longer. So what I've done in the last day and a half is I've went through these cylinders again. They seal up, they work great. Here we go. Let's. Oh, come on. Oh, this little thing is just terrible. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm a little bit afraid of this one. Everything you touch on it will burn your fingers. Look at that, it actually does run. You can see that the exhaust tends to blow the fire out, and then we lose our head of steam. Yeah. It is an operable model. Is it practical? Absolutely not. It's very neat to look at. Doesn't take long for it to lose its head of steam, but hopefully you guys thought this was almost worth the wait. Ouch. It was. Yeah, it does run, but we're just gonna say it runs. Well, thanks again, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And there you go. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.